Well, hello and welcome to The Elegant Life. My name is Erin Kurt, and I am a spiritual teacher to women all over the world who really want to live and manifest their most authentic, expansive, elegant life. I can talk to you about what that means, but what I wanted to do was to bring in some women who also know what I'm talking about. I just want you to hear what's possible, because there's so many women right now that are feeling like they want to go to the next level, but they don't know what that is, or not even to a next level. They want to feel joy inside, they peace inside. They want to feel something, but they don't even know what they want to feel. And this is what I want to share with you today, in hopes that you gain inspiration, motivation. Your blossoming is right around the corner for you if you give yourself the gift of it. So on that note, let me introduce to you a beautiful soul. Her name is Rachel, and I'll let her talk a little bit more about herself. But she is someone who came in as a founding member of the Elegant Art of Feminine Confidence. And Rachel, do you want to just share why you decided, because you had been around, heard my teachings and things like that, but why did you choose to do the program?
So there are a lot, but I'll try to narrow it down. And as I was getting ready, I actually put on a couple of the products that you share in the program. So if people don't know, you share some beauty tips behind the scenes.
That's awesome.
And it was such a good reminder every time that I use them. Actually, it's such a good reminder of the program. But when the program started and we had connected, I had just moved back to Canada. So it was during a lockdown. So we were in Dubai. It was during a lockdown there. We left to come to a lockdown here, basically. And we were resettling. My husband and I had just bought our first home, which was a big undertaking for us, especially at the time. And a lot of things were changing in my life, my dynamics with my family, my dynamics with myself, and we wanted to start our own family. And I was excited, but overwhelmed, like trying to figure things out on my own. And it was sort of in perfect timing that you were offering the lifestyle program, because I needed some structure. I was just feeling sluggish and down. And I knew that if I wanted to go to my next level in my life, which is being a mom who's also a creative for herself. So I'm a writer, and that felt very overwhelming to me. And I knew that you emulated some of the things that I wanted to carry in being a mom, being a wife, and being somebody who creates things. And I thought, okay, well, I need to get in on this and see what it was about. And it was more than, well, we'll get into that, more than what I was hoping for. So.
Oh, thank you so much. The reason that I want this message to get out to women is because it's like we've grown up in this masculine structure of what it takes to have the dream life. Mm-hmm. And yet we're at a stage where so many women feel such unhappiness, emptiness, lostness, not enoughness. And we've tried to do it the masculine way, but it didn't work. And it sounds like you were looking for structure, but you wanted to do it in more of a feminine way. So tell me what the lifestyle that you went through in this program did for you.
Yeah, so that's so great that you shared that, because I was, let's say, moving to Dubai, I was very type A, like hardworking, but also struggling. I struggled with burnout. I struggled with pressuring myself. I was supporting myself financially 100% in Toronto, in the city. So I was very much in misalignment with myself, and something always felt off. And I remember admitting to myself, I don't actually want to work hard. And I didn't want to say that to anybody because it's like, oh, that's super bratty, spoiled, lazy, like that's totally inappropriate. Right.
Yes.
And I was just like, no, but I can't get rid of that voice. It's like, I don't want to work hard. And I know as women, we all have a range of what feels comfortable for us and in phases of our lives too.
Sure, sure.
But something was telling me, no, I just don't. And I am married to a man who works very hard and is in his leadership roles. And we were butting heads a bit because it was hard for me to let go of like, no, I want to take over and do stuff. And it was hard for me to get help, like accept help. The whole lifestyle basically brought me into being able, first, my point was to admit that like, I don't want to work hard and I have to be okay with that and be okay with actually, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm not creating anything? No, not at all. I'm actually creating more now. So figuring that out and really understanding what that was, and that slowness allowed me to very easily get pregnant and step into motherhood. So it was a huge necessary step to shift into that, having the structure, moving my body, feeding myself well, doing practices that help align my energy, and then like going about the day and seeing what happens.
Oh, I like that. And seeing what happens. That's
Yes.
the beautiful part. It's a totally different way of living, you know. Okay, I've got my goals and I've got to check them off and I've got to have this targets and, you know, that kind of a thing. Maybe talk about what was different about the program. Because here's the thing that I think is fascinating that every single woman says. Number one, this was the most fun program I've ever done.
Yes.
But yet the transformation was the most I've ever experienced too. So do you want to talk about the experience? Because I think because women are so busy, we think, oh, I don't have time for this. I want this, but I don't have time for it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm getting excited for whoever is going to join next because it really was so fun. And is like, we're still so connected. So it's not done. And that's one of the main differences I'll add. But so I come from a background of working in personal development. I was a community manager, assistant coach, copywriter for personal development coaches in the US, like for years. So I have very high standards when it comes to the kind of people I hire and the guidance that I take. But what I was so different, like I've seen a lot of programs and a lot of things. And what was so different was it wasn't overwhelming, but it was literally touching every aspect of my life, which is very hard to do. And you did it like so easily, so gracefully of like I said, all the aspects, our body, the way we view ourselves, and most importantly, the internal kind of shifts that we need to make. And you did it so beautifully with talking to us one-on-one, plus the group things that we did together. But again, it wasn't invasive. It wasn't like every day, and I need 6 hours to, reflect. It wasn't taking up that much time, which was really fascinating to me. And the biggest difference for me is that it's been so sustainable. So it's been a while now, but I always come back to, okay, so I forgot when I had a baby, I forgot some of my practices. I was totally disoriented, but then I come back to them and do them. There was actually a time I was holding the baby. I don't know what she was doing. I was stressed, and I actually did the energetic clearing process without doing it. I visualized it because I said, I need to do something. So I just visualized the steps, and it still made a huge difference. So it's like having these, they're not really overwhelming processes, but they make a difference in the moment when you need them. And there's just so many things that were different to me about the program. So the time commitment was not overwhelming, but helped me get things done. The group aspect of sharing with all the women, meeting together, and then meeting with you one-on-one when we really need that like extra dig into something. I think it's just, it covered all aspects that you could want in something. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great to hear. When I created it, I knew what I needed way back when. And that's why I say the way we've been taught about having confidence has been through a very masculine model before. And I know what it takes to have feminine confidence. It is, like you said, the majority is about this energetic embodiment of your worth and your value. And it's sustainable because it never goes away. It just expands.
Exactly.
And yet, it is also about how you look at yourself and you see yourself in a physical manifestation. So
Mhm.
yes, it does have, at the end of the program, we start going into the physical stuff of the outer beauty, finding your signature style and knowing how to best showcase you, physically. And I love that you said that you put that on today, because I still use the same products. And I'm like, I wonder who's using their so and so today. you know
And
so
I will say with the style and things as well, I really struggled with that, like pre the program. And then getting pregnant and having a newer shape, different shape. I'm like, oh, but no, I know what I like. I know what to look for because we went through that, and accepting it. And not, I had maybe 1 or 2 days in the beginning where I was like, oh, this doesn't fit. And that was frustrating, but I said, no, just get what you want the way you want it. And we went through that whole process as well. And I was like, I know exactly what to look for. So it wasn't as overwhelming as I'm sure it would have been if I didn't if I didn't have any guidance.
was there an aspect of the program? I mean, as you've mentioned, there's been quite a few different aspects that you've enjoyed, but is there an aspect that you felt really shifted or transformed you in a powerful way?
I loved, so you call them activations in the program, and they're different aspects of feminine energy. I won't give them away, but there's many of them that we all have inside of us. And I was fascinated by what my subconscious pulled out during these activations of who I really am and who I want to be, and kind of the way I showed up when I was embodying them in the activations. Like, oh, I am more confident than I actually present myself sometimes, or I feel more free and I have that accessible in me more than I realize. And I think that was really impactful and something I re-listen to now that we have them in our toolkit, because depending on which one you want to feel into, or you feel like you're lacking in the moment, you can tap in and something new comes up every time. And for me, that was a new aspect of my own feminine energy that was really fun to play with.
That's such a good point to make, because that whole aspect of the feminine activations is like me bringing women back home to, like you said, what you already are. But
Mm.
through life, through what people have said, we've just learned, you know,
Yeah.
and shamed ourselves for it, or thought that's not good enough, that's not smart enough, that's not how a confident person would be. And it truly brings you back. And like you said, I love how you said that, when you remembered that, hey, I
Mm.
actually am more confident than I thought. That's truth. And then
Yes.
embody that. You really own it and embody it. So thanks for sharing that. That's great. Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. If there was any woman out there thinking that, or I shouldn't say thinking, because I never say this is not truth, this is truth,
Mhm.
they're
Mhm.
feeling that call, like something is calling me towards this lifestyle, what would you say to them right now?
Mhm. Trust it. I mean, trust it is the main thing that comes up, and trust that through this process, like I'll be here if you want to talk to me. Like if you join, I'm there. But anybody is here to support you. And the way that the whole thing is set up is that it's to bring out your version of feminine confidence, not Erin's version or Rachel's version or the other people in the program. It's very, we all have our little touch to it, but we're all so supportive of each other. And I think having that support without judgment from other women, even though a lot of women say they support each other, it can be very tricky. So this is really that place to feel safe and admit that you feel like I went through some really hard things in the middle of the program, and to come and share that and feel supported was I unexplainable. I'm getting emotional thinking of it. So it's more than the tangible, but it's way more than that.
That's one point that you mentioned, that there's two ways that women can choose to go through this program. They can get the lifestyle and they feel like they have me with them every
Mhm.
single day, or they can opt in to become a part of the group surroundings and get more interaction with personally me and you and the ladies.
Mhm.
Like, it's such, like, the things that we've celebrated in that Facebook group, is it not just, don't you get like,
Yeah. And it's ongoing. It's like continue, like the program for me ended, it was last year, right? Was it, was it
yeah,
last
a
year?
year and a half ago.
Like it's been some time, but it's still very solid, and we're still all growing and sharing. And again, difference to previous things that I've done, programs that I've done, to have that sustainability of connection is very, very different.
I appreciate hearing that. Gosh.
Mhm.
Well, ladies, if it feels right that you do decide to check out the link in the description below, which I'll put, and really make that leap, make this time in your life the time where it starts opening up like you could have never thought was possible, but it is.
Absolutely.
On that note, ladies, make it an elegant week, and we will see you next time.